Steel Curtain Network.
Touchdown! Touchdown para Calvin Austin! El Monte Washington es arma. ¿Quién más? ¿Quién más? DJ Watt!
What is going on, Pittsburgh Steelers fans? Welcome back to another Steelers preview podcast. We're a little bit earlier than usual, but I'm sure we'll get some folks chiming in here shortly. I'm Jeff Hartman, joined by Dave Schofield and Bryan Davis. What's up, Dave? How's it going?
Hey, it's going on all right. I really appreciate you all. I'm the reason we have to go early this week. I'm sorry. I've got a family thing this evening. So these guys, I said, hey, you can do it without me, or we can go a little bit earlier. And they were very good, inclusive friends and say, let's just go a little bit earlier and have a good time.
Bryan Davis, what's up?
I'm not a good friend. I'm selfish. I'm thinking, whoo, a lot of Thursday night. Yay. Now, it's going great, guys. Dave, I'll do anything for you, but I won't do that. But with that being said, it's good to talk to you. I love talking about the Steelers, especially after that upset. And there's so much to talk about when it doesn't seem like anything's going on. But thank you, NFL, for making it a 365-day-a-year thing by making Tuesday a big deal, which depends how you look at it. It might be a disappointment, or it might be a good idea, like unanswered prayers, like the Garth Brooks song.
Dave, I'll let you go first. Were you shocked the Steelers didn't do anything at the deadline?
No, when you started to see some of the crazy crap going on. I mean, I thought they might do something, and then when you started to see some of the just really, I mean, how often do you see that many first round picks going for guys for trades at the trade deadline? Well, when you start to see that kind of stuff, I'm like, I think things are going a little bit too bonkers, and the Steelers are going to be like, we're not getting into that kind of thing. There were a number of GMs that have come out and said, hey, what the prices were at the deadline, that's why we didn't buy. We're good with where we are for what other people were expecting. I'm kind of the same way. If they could have got something for, I don't know, maybe a fourth or a fifth, and even a fourth is, when you look at what the Steelers have been getting for fourth round picks, that's a lot for someone that could just be a half year rental. So therefore, I'm actually fine that they held true rather than overpaid for something.
Bryan, what's your take on the trade deadline and the Steelers staying put?
I've got a football crush on Jacoby Myers, and that almost happened. It was so close. Then the Jaguars upped the ante, and the Raiders went in that direction. But when I look at the whole thing and the way they were using Calvin Austin last week, the way they were using Pat Freiermuth, when they're finally integrating him into the game plan, I feel that they're just as good right now as they would be if they add somebody else, because Roman Wilson has an upside. To quote Mike Tomlin, if you take away the boneheaded play that he did last week. But yeah, I think they're fine. And the inflated prices, I wanted them to make a deal, but they did make a deal. And somebody put it out there. I don't know if it was Faribaugh that put it out there, but he said if the Kyle Duggar deal was done on Tuesday, you'd be a whole lot happier right now. So they really did something at the trade deadline in a way, because they made a deal.
Oh, they did. The reason I winced is I don't think they would be happier right now, because I don't know if the Steelers win without having enough safeties this past weekend. It's not like Kyle Duggar was out there tearing up the field, but if they wouldn't have had him and did what they did because of that, you can't say for sure they would have won that game.
Yeah,
even though it was kind of in hand, but still, yeah.
I get what you're saying, but they're saying that if that same deal was made, take Sunday away from it. If that kind of deal was made on Tuesday, then you make a deal. So they just made one 5 days early. Yeah. That's what they did.
I mean, I'll say this, that I think that if you're a smart general manager, you see what happened this year, you see what's been happening over the last few years, and you're trying to do what the Steelers did, or a bunch of other teams, the Ravens, the Eagles. You're trying to make trades the week before the deadline. You're not trying to get into that Black Friday sale crowd of everyone's like, it's a frenzy. No, I'm staying away from that. I'll make the Kyle Duggar trade. We'll do a pick swap. You pick up some of his salary. We get a safety we like, and we're not having to overpay for him. I think you're going to hopefully, I think if you're smart, you'll start to see those type of trades and those deals happening earlier and not waiting until the very last second. Because again, Jacoby Myers, there were rumors the Steelers were in on that. I heard a crazy rumor they were in on Chris Olave and the Saints, but that didn't come through. It's weird. It's definitely weird. But I will say this too. I know that everyone always freaks out about, well, they didn't get this player, that player, whatever. I don't look at the cost as much as I do what is their contract status. So if they had to give up a 4th-round draft pick for a Chris Olave and he's under contract for 2 more years and the Steelers get the contract and they have him on the roster beyond this season, I'm more comfortable with then giving up a 4th-round pick for in that example than I am giving a 4th and a 6th for a guy like Rashid Shaheed, who's going to be a free agent after this year. Yeah. That's 9. Because now you're giving away 2 picks for a guy who's not even going to be guaranteed to be on your roster after this season. I think that I forget who said, I want to say it might have been John Lynch of the 49ers, but I don't think it was him. It might have been, is it Bean of the Bills, the GM that said, too many of these young GMs are playing Madden. It's not Madden. It's not fantasy football.
It was the Bills one that said that. Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
Yep. It was Lynch that said, nah, these prices were crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. And so there's and people that want to freak out about the Steelers not doing anything. The Chiefs didn't make a move. The Buffalo Bills didn't make a move. And, yes, the Ravens did, but those other 2 teams are in way better position than the Ravens are. They stayed. They said, we're good. We're not paying those type of prices, just for some perspective there. Any other thoughts on the trade deadline before we move on, guys?
Yeah, I thought for sure that Breece Hall was going to be a Chief at the end of the day. And
they said it was close. They said it was real close.
I thought for sure that was going to happen, and it didn't. But the thing is, we would be complaining, not we, but the fan base would be complaining if they didn't make a move or if they did make a move and give up that much. So, whatever moves they make, there's going to be tons of criticism.
Yeah. Dave, any final thoughts on that?
Yeah, I've got 2. One is, did you hear the crazy rumor that the Steelers were going to up the ante for Jacoby Myers, and Art Rooney said no? I think that was definitely, and a lot of the media people said this is crazy, which I can agree with that, but I could also see where that came from. That they would say no, they weren't going to pay more for that. I don't know if that would had any truth or not. The other thing I want to say is Corey Eckenroth in the live chat, please. Every week, I do an article updating the Steelers' comp picks and where they stand. They are not losing comp picks because of all those players. The worst thing that's happening right now is that a 5th round has dropped to a 6th round because of Russell Wilson. They're still in line to get 4 picks. One of them is dropped, but the big thing to pay attention to, and that's why you guys want to keep checking the article, is as long as Dan Moore keeps playing every snap, the Steelers get that 3rd round pick.
And Justin Fields, they're in pretty good shape with him right now.
Yeah, he can't drop outside of the 4th realistically, unless a ton of people, because of like all pro and all conference, jump way ahead of him. He would have to drop below 25% of the snaps. He's already basically locked into being above that. There's an outside possibility he could, if he played every snap the rest of the season, he could be really close to bumping up to a 3rd. But I think it would be too close with too many other people with accolades moving ahead of him.
Go to steelcurtainnetwork.com, Corey, and everyone else watching or listening right now, because that's Thursdays when we publish that article, and read it for yourself. He has it all laid out there every single Thursday. Go check it out. So, okay.
So I guess I need a Jackson Dart voodoo doll then.
Jackson,
why, to get Russell Wilson back on the field?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I got you. Yeah. Because Wilson could move back, but he would have to start playing. That's the thing. Hey, Jeff, I want to bring this one up.
Sure.
From John S.
Saw rumors of Marvin Harrison Jr. No chance they had any legs. SCN never clickbaits, and I appreciate it. Hey, thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah, that some of these rumors, like even the rumor I heard from the Saints thing is that the Steelers were going to offer Roman Wilson a 4th for Chris Olave. It's like, no, that is not no. Like, no. And that the Saints were actually going to entertain it, and then they backed out at the last second. Now, I just don't buy that for a second. That is not even close to a comparable trade. But, okay, enough about the trade deadline. It's come and gone. The Steelers are the Steelers. We do have a little bit of news, though. DeMarvin Leal was released Marquez Valdez-Scantling, MVS, is now officially on the practice squad. The Steelers sign a defensive lineman. Dave, you wrote the article. What's that fella's name? Do you know?
That's a good one. Well, because the Steelers announced it as a hyphenated name, but then they don't even have that hyphenated name on the roster when they put his name on the roster. So I'll be honest with you, I can't remember. It's Broderick Myers something or something
Okay.
Myers. I think it's Myers.
All right.
Something.
From the Chiefs,
Broderick.
right?
Yeah, big dude. He was drafted by the Lions in the third round of 2023. Spent most of 2024 on IR to start the season, and then landed on the Chiefs practice squad this year.
And so remember, everyone, if you sign someone from someone's practice squad, they have to be elevated to the 53-man roster.
Yeah.
Broderick Martin Rhodes is the name. I just looked it
Rhodes,
up.
that was the last one. Yeah.
So DeMarvin Leal gets cut, but what was interesting, we talked about this when we hit record, is that the Steelers didn't have to cut Leal. Like Jerry Dulac has already put this out on Twitter that they had to cut Leal to make room, but they didn't. They only had 52 players on the roster. So that means that they have created another roster spot. And I think this is going to be pertinent to potentially a couple things. No insider information. I could see MVS getting promoted to the active roster. I could.
But that doesn't count. That doesn't use a roster spot to elevate him from the practice squad.
I think that I'm saying I could see him maybe taking an active roster spot, and not just elevation.
You get paid the same whether you're elevated or you're on the 53. It's just not guaranteed. They'd be foolish to not use at least 2, if not 3 elevations for him before they.
I get it.
Him.
I'm not leaning hard into that one. I'm leaning hard into. I think they bring back DeMonte KZ, who was released by the Browns. They need safety help. We'll talk about the injury report. Jabril Peppers still has not practiced yet this week. They could use an extra body. Even though Chuck Clark is back and not sick anymore, I think that DeMonte KZ could be a player that they're looking to acquire. But I don't know. Anything about those news you want to bring up, Dave, or want to talk about?
Yeah, I was just going to quickly say, they're like, well, why did they have a roster spot? When the Steelers put Miles Killebrew on IR after week 6, ahead of week 7, they never put another person on the roster. When it was originally reported that the Steelers were putting Deshaun Elliott on IR in order for the Kyle Duggar trade, they didn't have to do it right away because they had that spot. So Duggar came on to make 53. Then they put Elliott and Ekwale on IR. That dropped them to 51, except they brought back Malik Harrison. That put them at 52. They were at 52 last week. And here's my proof. They elevated 2 players from the practice squad and only had 6 players inactive because they only had 52 on the roster. If they elevate 2 players from the practice squad, they would have needed 7 players inactive. So that was that. So then everything that they've done this week, they didn't have to trade it off in that way.
Bryan, any thoughts on any of that news?
Yeah, it's that's a lot of calculations there, but I'm following you, Dave. But I want to get back to the KZ thing. As soon as somebody mentioned KZ could come back, it was on other sites or whatever popping up on Twitter. Everyone's like, "No, thank you." No, don't say no to a guy that you're not bringing in to start, but you're bringing in that knows the system and you can plug in for depth. Remember, not every guy is a superstar. The 49th guy on the roster, the 53rd guy on the roster, and the first guy on the roster all know their roles. They have roles to play, and you need 53, or in this case, 52, to complete your puzzle.
Yeah. Mad Cat in the live chat talks about Antonio Brown being arrested as he re-entered the United States. We're not talking about that. I'm not going to give that any credence, but still. All right, let's talk about the injury report. I alluded to Jabril Peppers and Chuck Clark. Dave, we just got this before we hit record, so we don't have the Chargers yet, but we do have the Steelers. So let's talk about the Steelers injury report.
Yeah, that's the problem when you play a team on the West Coast is you don't have to meet the deadline because your opponent isn't meeting that 4 p.m. deadline that you normally have to do. So they get out the injury report. Yeah, we would have started the show even a little bit earlier, except this came out. Here are the main ones to realize. Scotty Miller didn't practice either day. Chuck Clark has been back for 2 days with his illness, but Cole Holcomb has still been out both days with his illness. The guys that aren't on the 53 that are designated to return, Will Howard still practicing fully. Corey Trice still not practicing because he hurt his knee coming back from his hamstring injury. Who knows what they're going to do there? It's quite concerning that Jabril Peppers still can't practice. So I don't know if I assume he hurt that leg in practice last Thursday, and that's why that day he was limited and has not practiced since. I don't think it's looking good for him. Two players that were out on Wednesday that came back on Thursday was Alex Highsmith was out with an ankle, was back to limited on Thursday. Darnell Washington with a foot, he was back as full. Isaac Seumalo did not practice again with his pec, but last week he didn't practice Wednesday or Thursday, so I'm not reading anything into that yet. And the only other one was Connor Hayward was added to the injured report today, Thursday, where he didn't practice because of the knee. Everyone else, Jonnu Smith, they off yesterday. Cam Hayward limited today just because of rest.
Yeah. Bryan, thoughts on that injury report?
I want to run labs on Cole Holcomb. What's going on there? That really concerns me. That's really sick. It seems like he should be a Davis and living in this house. But anyways,
if you all only knew. That's what Jeff and I are laughing.
And I'm laughing just to hide my tears. But anyways, I looked on the Chargers site when Dave said it wasn't available, and yes, it's not available, but the Steelers are up for Thursday on the Chargers site already. So the Chargers are like, boom. The Steelers will get the Chargers like probably Tuesday morning. But anyways, this time of year, you're going to have a lot going on as far as more bumps and bruises. And I almost feel that in the NFL, not just the Steelers, I don't think practice is as valued as much live practices as meeting rooms are anymore. And it just kind of seems to me like it's like, all right, we'll just be cautious and leave everybody out.
I mean, I think you have, especially this point in the season, you do have to err with a little bit of caution. Like you talk about Darnell Washington's foot injury, which kept him out Wednesday, but he's back full Thursday. I think it ultimately depends on the player. What's great news that isn't on I don't think Zach Frazier's on the list, is he, Dave?
Nope. He is
That's
not.
fantastic news. He's been on the injury report the last 2 weeks. So that's a good thing. You guys think Isaac Seumalo plays this week?
Yeah.
You think it's same as last week that he'll play?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, Garen, bet on it, bank on it. He's going to, no,
right.
Nothing about him missing 2 days of practice this week has me concerned yet. I'll worry if he's deemed questionable tomorrow, then that'll be a whole different story.
Because
I wouldn't be
last
shocked.
week,
he didn't even have a designation last week.
But he was limited on Friday, wasn't he? Okay,
limited on Friday, no designation.
The Steelers.
Here's my concern. I'm sorry, Jeff. My concern. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to go now. My concern is that if Seumalo doesn't play or comes out early, that they're like, all right, Spencer Anderson, go ahead back in and completely abandon the jumbo. Against Los Angeles, I'm sorry. Against the Chargers, you want to have that jumbo going. And I think it could really be beneficial. But it seems like they're going all or nothing on Spencer Anderson and ignoring Ryan McCollum and ignoring Calvin Anderson. And the other guy.
Andres Pete. Andres Pete.
Yeah.
Now, Dave, you were there in stadium when Seumalo left the game. Did you notice them run the jumbo package at all?
I did not know that Seumalo left the game until they put it on the scoreboard.
Okay. Which was
so I don't know at what point that was going on there. But once I knew for sure I didn't see them announcing anyone. They did not announce anybody other than number 74 as being eligible for the Steelers in the stadium.
Okay. That's interesting. Dave, any other thoughts about the injury report?
No. The only question is, do you want me to at least say what Wednesday's was for the Chargers?
No.
Seriously?
I mean, you can do don't do resting, guys. Just
no. Because like you've got guard Mekhi Becton trying to come back. He was limited with a knee, so that's when you want to look for on Thursday and Friday. Oh man, I almost said Robbie Hart. It's tackle Bobby Hart didn't practice on Wednesday with a knee/ankle. Safety Tony Jefferson was limited with a hamstring. And then the only other one, and because I'm not doing the guys that are coming back from IR, the only other one was cornerback Tarheeb still didn't practice with a knee.
And this is also why they traded for Trevor Penning from the Saints to get an extra tackle, because their offensive line is in complete disarray right now. Bryan, any thoughts on the Chargers?
But can I say one thing about what you said? They did say they're unsure if he's going to be ready to play this week, because Penning's been playing guard all season.
Oh, interesting. Yes, put him at tackle.
Yeah, let him have let him come in for a couple practices and have to. And which one are they going to put him, left or right? I
don't know.
They're like Spinal Tap drummers right now in Los Angeles with the Chargers for offensive tackles. It seems they're all going. And Dave, by the way, I'm glad it's not Robbie Hart, because that was Adam Sandler's character in The Wedding Singer.
I know, that's why I said that. I was going to say Robbie Hart.
All right, for the sake of time, let's go through these quickly. We're going to do offensive key first, key to victory, and then we'll do defensive. We're going to take a break, and then we'll get to some fun stuff. So, Dave, I'll let you go first. Offensive key over the Chargers, what is it?
Okay, offensive key over the Chargers. Mainly, I'm going to say do what works. Don't worry about trying to, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't find the correct word in the English language. Don't try to do a bunch of different things just for the sake of doing them. Just do what if throwing the ball was what's going to move the football, then throw the football. If running the football is what's working, then just keep running the football. If it's a mix of both, keeping them off balance, make sure you're mixing it up. If it's play action, do that. Just don't do something just for the sake of doing something different. Actually make sure that you're constantly doing the things that work.
All right. Bryan, what's your key to victory?
I feel like when Dave says that I picture the offensive coordinator not as Arthur Smith, but Hannibal Smith of the A team with a cigar going, all right, I love it when a plan comes together. Let's show them this one. And then you're like, whoa. So just don't get cute, like Dave said. I really think that's what they've been trying to do. Go to your bread and butter. When I'm saying your bread and butter right now, your new bread and butter is that jumbo package. And I just talked a lot about that. But look, when Dave says do what works, it's just like, I like when the Pittsburgh Steelers say, all right, you think you know what's coming? That's fine. You're right. That's what's coming. But you can't stop it. So if they can go ahead and establish that, they'll be so much better, which Jaylen Warren, I think, needs more touches. The more touches you see Jaylen Warren get, the better that this team is going to be, because he is a grinder. He really is. I want to see a lot of tight end action. In fact, overuse. I want to see them get to a point when a Freiermuth or a Darnell Washington is rivaling DK Metcalf for targets. And I want to see DK Metcalf get targets too. But I want them just to be smart, and for crying out loud, you've got a coach on the field in Aaron Rodgers. Let him guide you.
Okay, mine's simple, and I think the Steelers need to run the football to protect Aaron Rodgers. The Chargers are a team that's getting after the quarterback, very similar to Pittsburgh. 26 sacks so far this season for the LA Chargers defense.
With an extra game, though.
With an extra game. And they're all – I looked at the stats for sacks, for defensive sacks. The Broncos have 40 before Thursday Night Football. Everyone else is like 28, 27, 26. Like, they are by far and away dominating everyone in the sack department. But this is a run defense that the Steelers are seeing, one that's a little bit softer than what they're used to seeing. And I was looking at this, and I wrote an article, it's on SteelCurtainNetwork.com, as to why the Steelers' run defense might not be as good as people thought it might be. So far this year, the Steelers have played 5 of the top 10 run defenses in the NFL in their first 8 games. And they've played 4 out of the top 5. And so that's between New England, Seattle, Indianapolis, and Green Bay. Those 4 defenses are all in the top 5 and the best run defenses in the NFL. The Chargers are 17th. So if there's a game where you can say, hey, let's just grind it. Let's just run it. And I think this is it. So that's my offensive key to victory there. So, Dave, let's go to defense. What do you got there?
Play hard.
Yes. Go get them.
But that's exactly what Cam Hayward was talking about after the Packers game.
Yeah, Jalen Ramsey
play
spoke
hard.
up.
Yeah.
And
play
Jalen
hard.
Ramsey gave the speech and
Yep.
got them all fired
And
up.
let's you can say, you can kiss all you want if you want to say that, but to me, it's just, you've got to avoid the paralysis by analysis. You can still disguise things, you can still mix things up, but it doesn't have to be so complicated that players have to think first and react second. I felt like they were much more reactive this past week, but then again, I was watching in the stadium. So continue that. And honestly, this is a team, they'll turn the ball over. So let's go get them. I know a lot of fans are like, it's not sustainable what the Steelers did in forcing all those takeaways, but doesn't mean you can't get some. So
that's right.
Go get them.
All right, Bryan.
Outside of the first game in Brazil, the Chargers have turned the ball over in every game this year.
Which is like the antithesis of last week.
Yes.
All right. Bryan, I'm sorry, defensive. Go ahead.
All right. Get some added pressure. Continue to do what you did last week. Just because you have an offensive line that is very good, like the Colts, you feel like you have to go after it more. Then you have a beat up offensive line and you feel like you don't have to do as much. No, get gritty, get angry, go after them, expose them. It seems like they do struggle when you have an offensive line that is struggling. So go after them. And also know where Ladd McConkey is at all times. Of course, because that kind of player seems to burn the Steelers more than a Keenan Allen will. Now, a Keenan Allen has burnt them. I remember the Bostic game
on him.
Yeah, I mean, don't go back to the 2018 defense. But the other thing is, I don't care if Omarion Hampton is not in the game. I don't care if Najee Harris is on injured reserve. Do not sleep on a guy like Vidal, because he tore it up last week on Thursday Night Football. Was that last week or 2 weeks ago or whenever that
weeks ago?
I'm not sure when that was.
Last week they played the Titans.
But this is a trench heavy team on both sides. So just know that they love to live and die in the trenches, like the Steelers once were known as. Not as much right now. And know that you've got to attack them on both sides in the trenches, and don't let them come in as the kings that they think they are.
So if anyone listened to my Behind Enemy Line segment this week on Wednesday, Craig of the Lightning Round podcast did a great job, very honest about the Chargers. Like, wasn't trying to say like they're going to win everything. He said that the rushing yards by this team have been buoyed by Justin Herbert being athletic and running and extending plays. The Steelers are going to have to force them into third and long situations, stop the run, and you got to keep him in the pocket. Herbert is very athletic. Tomlin talked about it on Tuesday when he said, we got lucky last year. He was banged up, had that high ankle sprain, couldn't move. And he's right, 100% spot on. I think that's the key. They got to make him one-dimensional. This is also the best third down offense in the NFL right now, statistically speaking. The Chargers converting 49.2% of their third down attempts. So the Steelers got to get off the field too. But that's all I'm going to say. You can hear more of my keys on the Let's Ride podcast. So, all right, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to do over-under, trivia, bad memories, all that fun stuff. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right, Steeler fans, if you're watching live, we didn't go anywhere. Thank you all for being patient. Let's start off with over-under. Dave, do you have the updated numbers?
Yes, I do. Well, right, Jeff, you took a little bit more of a lead in picking the games last week because you were the only one who took the Steelers, and we all took the over. So you're up to 9, while Bryan and I are both sitting at 7. But when it came to the over-under, those that were rich got richer, and those that were poor got poorer. Yep. Jeff, you got 3 out of the 6. Bryan, you got 4 out of the 6. but I got 5 out of the 6.
Nice.
So that gives our total. Jeff has 22, Bryan has 27, and I have 31.
You're
All right.
running away.
All right, here we go. Let's go through these quickly. First one, Jalen Warren carries. So these are just carries by Jalen Warren, not touches, just running the football. I've got it at 17.5, Bryan. What do you think?
I'm actually going to go over. I think they're going to have an opportunity to run the ball a little bit more. Los Angeles is not a team that gets up on you quickly. They can beat you with offense, but they're not going to storm out of the gate and crush you.
All right, Dave.
I think if the Steelers want to win this game, it needs to be over. The only thing is if they divide up the carries more between 2 or even 3 running backs.
I'm going to go over. I'm going to go over for sure. All right, Aaron Rodgers pass attempts. I've got the line.
Well, you nailed that last week.
I did, yeah.
Nails it every week.
35.
You said 34.5 and it was 35.
I've got this at 36.5. So I went up to 36.5. So what do you guys think? Over, under, Bryan?
I'm thinking under here, and I'm also going to put the over on one day we hear Jeff say, hey, guys, I'm moving to Vegas. I do this way too good.
Dave, over, under?
Well, Bryan and I are agreeing a lot. I'm going to go under as well with you upping that number a little bit because honestly, I think 35 is the sweet spot.
Yeah, it seems to be. I'm going to go under as well. This has been boring, so let's go to Pittsburgh Steelers sacks of the opposing quarterback. I've got the line at 3.5. Over, under, Bryan?
Under. And the reason I'm going under is I don't like the Steelers when they're against a struggling line like I just talked about 5 minutes ago.
Okay, Dave?
Yeah, that's a problem too. 3.5 is a lot, and people have been saying it in the live chat. So once again, my number I had in my head before you said it was 3, so I'm just going to go under.
Over. Sack party. Let's have one.
I hope you win this one, Jeff.
I do.
You need to catch up. You should win that one.
All right, Steelers takeaways. And they obviously had 6 last week. I've got it at 2.5. Bryan, what do you think?
I'm going to go under. I'm feeling the 2.
Okay, Dave?
Oh my goodness, Bryan, why are you agreeing with everything that I already have? Yes, I'm taking the under as well with 2.
You either make up ground or you die trying. I'm going over. Let's go through.
There you go. I hope you catch up as well, at least a little bit. You can't get the whole way there.
I know. Pittsburgh Steelers team rushing yards. So cumulative rushing numbers. I've got the line at 115.5, Bryan.
I'm going under. I feel they're going to be fine, but I'm taking your formula, both you and Jeff, saying that if you're going to see a lot of yards by a guy like Jalen Warren, a lot of them's going to come out of the backfield on swing passes. The same to Kenny Gainwell.
All right, Dave.
Yeah, I don't want to agree with Bryan, so I'm just going to have some fun with this one. Let's go over, baby. Let's say they run the ball really good.
I'm going to say over because they've run it on better defenses so far this year. I mean, we'll see. I'm going to go over though. And lastly, Steelers turnovers, them turning it over. I've got the line at 1.5. They had 1 last week. Bryan, what do you think?
I'm going to go under here. I think 2 is possible, but I mean, it seems they've been holding onto the ball well enough. I not delusional to think that they're going to get 0 every week. So let's go ahead and say 1.
All right, Dave.
Yeah, I'm going to take the under there as well. I'd have taken the over if you had the 0.5.
Right.
I'm just going with 1. They're going to need to not turn it over too much if they're going to try to win this game.
I've got it under as well. So there you go. We'll see how we do this week in the actual over-under game. But let's talk about predictions now. As of about, an hour ago, I checked the odds. The odds have held pretty strong with the Chargers giving 3 points to the Steelers. That's been pretty standard. And a total of 45.5. So, Bryan, how do you see this game playing out? What's your score prediction?
I'm going to go ahead and take the Steelers in a close one. And they are going to go ahead and win this game 27-23.
Ooh, okay.
So that's the over.
That is the over for sure.
Well,
all right.
You know what? It's crazy because some people are like, oh, they're going to the West Coast. Yeah, but you know what? They've been doing better.
That was a Ben thing.
And not only that, When they do go to the West Coast, who do they have the best record against out West? The Chargers.
Chargers.
So for that reason, I'm going with the Steelers in the upset. I've got it a little bit more high scoring than Bryan, believe it or not. I got 31-27.
Nice. Okay, so I know it's going to shock everyone here.
You're taking the Steelers.
But I'm going to take the Steelers. And I think this is going to be a higher scoring game like Dave predicted. I think it's going to be very close. And I think one Wizard of Boz is the one that does it. I've got the Steelers winning on a walk-off field goal 27-26. And it's going to be a fun one. I think this is going to be an entertaining football game. I think there could be a lot of high-flying plays. I think it's going to be fun. And I'm here for it. I'm all about it. So we all have the Steelers winning.
We all have the number 27 in there, win one way or another.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Let's do. All right. So we get to choose. We got to guess the game that Bryan is going to talk about. So are we doing in LA? Or are we including San Diego? How are we?
We're including San Diego because it's a road game.
But so we're saying a road game.
Yes.
I've got it narrowed to 2.
Okay.
And I'm probably wrong on both of them. I'm thinking it's either the Duck game in 2019, the He Didn't Kill Us game, or it's the one, was it Michael Vick whenever it was Le'Veon Bell? They didn't go for the field goal to tie it. They went for the touchdown to win it.
Yes.
That was my guess.
But wasn't Vick also but he was quarterback in that game though, right?
That was Michael Vick, yeah.
Quarterback. And that was Boz's debut.
And that was the last touchdown pass that Michael Vick ever threw in his NFL career was in that game.
Yes. But it's not that one, guys. It is absolutely not that one. Now, when years that end in 5, I'm not sure about 75, but in 1985, it was a really cool game in San Diego. It was like a 54 to 40 something. I'm not going with that.
44 because I have all the road games against the Chargers listed right here.
It was absolutely crazy. In 95, it was great because they finally took off in that season and they had a big win after struggling in the first 4 games. That was the week after the Bill Cowher shoving the picture in the pocket. But I'm going with 2015 was Vic. So the one I'm going for, though, is 2005 because you've heard this story before, fellas. I'm in attendance.
Weren't you there?
At this game. This is the one that got me on national television on that ABC commercial by complete accident. This is also where the San Diego belly dance was born because apparently they don't. And I was only about 200 some pounds back then, but I did take off my shirt in the crowd, and then the guy in the yellow shirt came over. Security goes, "Put on your shirt." I'm like, "It's a football game. Come on, put on your shirt." I'm like, darn it. So I put my shirt back on. But I had my eye black going. I had my cool hat, and I'm ready to go. I'm cheering for the Steelers. Then the game starts, and I got to tell you, what a fantastic game. I got to tell you about the first part, though, Jeff. I'm going long. Jeff, you did the Schwarzenegger. You've already done the Schwarzenegger. He was in the house. This is the first time in 9 years that San Diego had Monday Night Football at home. They were supposed to have it 2 years earlier, but there were mudslides. They had to move it to Arizona. So this was such a fun game. They had the, I don't know whether it was the Airborne, but, it's like the Top Gun Maverick was in the sky. Who knows? But they had the sergeant come out, and this girl comes out and says she's a PR, this pretty little girl came out, not girl, but she was a woman, but she comes out and says, "All right, we gave you those promotional towels. They were washcloths, white, that said Diet Pepsi, 100% chance of lightning." And I know it's in that drawer right behind me. I wanted to get it for the show. I forgot it. And so when the sergeant says, "Are you ready?" Because that was the Hank Williams days, they'd go, "Are you ready for some football?" And you say, "Are you ready?" Well, and then you wave your white towels. So then the "Here we go Steeler" chants go. And then she's like, "Guys, come on, you're in San Diego!" And then the towels went crazy. It was 75-25 Steeler fans. In fact, there was a woman up there that I went up, like after the game, we just wanted to not mess with the crowd. I went up to this woman and we were talking. I said, "So where are you from?" And she said, well, I'm from Pennsylvania. I'm like, great, me too. And I said, where in Pennsylvania? She goes, Johnstown. I go, me too. I said, where'd you go to high school? She goes, Richland High School. I said, me too. She goes, all right, quit hitting on me. I'm like, no, I went to Richland High School, class of 89. And it was, there were so many Steeler fans there. But let's get to the game part. The game was fantastic. It was 24-22, a final with 30 seconds left. Jeff Reed hits a field goal. But this was the game that you had James Harrison leaping over LaDainian Tomlinson. You had Ben Roethlisberger going out at the end of the game. Jerome Bettis had a touchdown. Hall of Famer. You had LaDainian Tomlinson have a touchdown. Hall of Famer. Future Hall of Famer. Drew Brees was your quarterback. Even though Phillip Rivers was on the bench, Drew Brees was there. Ben, future Hall of Famer. This was such a fantastic game. So many great players in this fantastic game. I'm on the 50-yard line, the most I've ever spent for a ticket at that point. And remember, this is 20 years ago, but it was fantastic. That song they played every time the Chargers scored was from the 70s. San Diego Superchargers. It was so fun to hear. And we're like, we can't dance to it, but we want to because it's such a fun song. But that means the Steelers are losing. Then Jeff Reed comes in, money. They win the game, walk off. What a great night.
That's a memorable game for sure. I remember that one clearly.
So memorable, we might have to bring the timer back.
Yeah.
It was too much. There's so much in that game. There's so much I'm leaving out.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but none of it's about the game. It's just about your experience.
It's about Bryan not wearing a shirt.
and the San Diego belly dance was born. So and it's where I stand up, put my hands on my belly, and you got to do it shirtless, though. So the kids know how to do it. And that's very famous. That will be at my eulogy. That will be brought up.
All right. So, Dave, we're doing trivia style. We're doing trivia with Jeopardy style again, backed by popular demand.
Oh, we have to. Well, one, some people in the live chat said they liked it, and two, the Steelers had the upset win when they were 3-point underdogs. So this sounds familiar. So let's do it again. Now, remember, so it's 200, 400, 600, 800, 1,000. They are more difficult as you get towards the larger amounts. But who technically won last week?
I don't know. I got one wrong. I know that, so that would have hurt my score. So Bryan probably did.
So we'll go with Bryan. Bryan, the board is yours.
All right. What are the categories?
Oh, the category. Oh, what was it? Is that charging steel players that played for both the Chargers and the Steelers?
Oh, okay.
And it's funny. I also have a fun fact about each one of these answers.
I will take. We're going to start with 1,000, Dave.
Oh, you're going to start with the most difficult one.
We're going to go with the biggie.
You're going to love this one.
Early.
Okay, one for 1,000. This Steelers draft pick spent 10 seasons in Pittsburgh, 9 of which he was the starting left tackle. He finished his career with 2 years with the Chargers and 2 years with the Bengals. Maybe he didn't mean to make your daughter cry. Bryan.
I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Who is John Jackson, number 65 for the Steelers?
That would be John Jackson. Fun fact about him, he was born in Japan.
Whoa, I did not know that.
Yeah. So, all right, Bryan, the board is yours.
We'll go for 200.
200. This Steelers first-round pick has the franchise records for games started in his first 4 seasons. Unfortunately, he has yet to start a game with the Chargers.
Go ahead, Bryan.
Do you have, if Jeff, you want it, you can have
it. My mind is just.
Who is Najee Harris?
Who is Najee Harris? Because he started 68 games in 4 seasons because of the 17-game season. Fun fact about him, even though he had 4 1,000-yard seasons, he only has 9 career 100-yard rushing games. Wow. That's just a little bit more than 2 per season. So
let's go 400, Dave.
400. This Steelers quarterback only had 1 winning season in Pittsburgh, much better than his only season with the Chargers, where he went 2-6 and really missed the mark.
Is it Mark
Go ahead, Jeff. Go ahead.
Is it Mark Malone? I don't know.
No, come down. You can't say
who is Mark Malone? I don't know.
That's very good, Jefferson. That would be Mark Malone. His fun fact is his 90-yard touchdown reception is the only reception of his career, but he was targeted 3 times.
Okay, what do we have left? 600?
Oh, we have 600 and 800.
600.
600. All right. This player out of Bloomsburg started 3 seasons at multiple positions. Not 3 seasons. Sorry. Started seasons at multiple positions across the Steelers' offensive line. But with the Chargers, he settled in for 2 years as the starter at left guard. File that one under consistency.
Jeff.
Go ahead. I don't know. Go ahead, Bryan.
Who is Matt Filer?
Who is Matt Filer?
Forgot all about that guy.
Missed the mark for Mark Malone. Matt, file that one. Okay. Then make your, okay. Just thought in case Jeff has missed that. And his fun fact, he was born in Strasburg, Pennsylvania. All right. You ready for the last one? 800?
Yes.
Right. So here we go. This player had 2 Pro Bowls and 3 Super Bowl rings with the Steelers. He missed out on the 4th as a member of the Chargers when the Steelers decided to set the bar higher at his position and let him go.
Go ahead, Bryan.
Who is Matt Barr? No, that's incorrect.
That is incorrect, Jeff.
I don't know.
Doop.
I don't know anyone named Barr.
All right. What it was Matt Barr replaced the 3-time Super Bowl champion, Roy Jarella.
Yeah.
They set the bar.
Matt Barr only had 1.
Yeah, he was who replaced Jarella, who his fun fact was he went to high school in Rockville, Maryland.
Wow. And I'm a big fan of Roy Jarella, one of the crappiest Steelers in the Super Bowl era. When you watch those games, when you go back for those highlights, he missed almost every kick. He was terrible.
Absolutely.
You're talking. Look at that. 1973, he hit 40. Let's see. What was he? He was. Hold on. I'm looking at how many did he miss there? He missed a bunch. Yeah, he missed a lot. Sorry. I was going to add them up, but the numbers weren't there. So
when you were talking about the chart, I was like, I can't think of anyone that was like I forgot about Matt Filer. I even forgot about Najee Harris. Even though I talked about him on Wednesday. It's been a week. My brain is
and just so you know, Jarella, when he went to the Chargers in 1979, he only appeared in 3 games. He was 1 of 7 in field goals. That was
my gosh. Jeez. Okay. This has been a good show. Bryan, I'll let you do final thoughts. Go ahead.
All right. I was disappointed. No Glenn Edwards. Yeah, Dave, that would have been a good one.
You almost got a Melvin Ingram in there, but I decided to throw that one out.
I always forget his name. All right. It's time for final thoughts once again. And I am going to go ahead and say this. I wanted to pick the Chargers in this game because it's been working, but there seems to be magic when the Steelers go out west right now. As Dave and Jeff talked about earlier in the show, I feel like this is a good opportunity. It's just do not let that win last week get in your head as we are something that we are not. Go out and play your game desperate. Desperate, but smart. Desperate doesn't mean desperate, but serious. You don't want to go ahead out and just leave it all on the field where you're just trying everything crazy. You want to go in as an underdog that knows deep down if you play the smart way, you're going to beat them, but still have that underdog scratch and claw mentality. That's what the Steelers need this week, and I'm looking to see it.
All right. Dave, final thoughts?
Yeah, I was pretty happy that Aaron Rodgers was really not satisfied with the Steelers offense this past week, because sometimes you get a big win like that and you're like, hey, look what we can do now. And he knew what they did offensively was not good enough. So although the Steelers got the job done against the team with the best record in the NFL, they weren't satisfied with their performance. And I like to see that, because once again, I feel like this is another one of those games of, all right, now show me this is how it's going to be. Okay, I feel that's, will the real Steelers still, or please stand up? I felt that's what it was with Green Bay after the poor performance in Cincinnati, and they gave another poor performance. Now they have a good performance. What I really need to see this week is for the Steelers to have another good performance, come home with the win, and just continue rolling here into the second half of the season.
Well said. I want to remind everyone to go check out all of our podcasts at the Steel Curtain Network. That's Bryan's Bad Language, as well as the Here We Go Steelers show with Kevin Smith. I want you to check out Dave on his audio-only show with Greg Benevin every Thursday morning, the Pittsburgh Standard Time. You can check out my Let's Ride every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Wherever you get your podcast, search Steel Curtain Network. And check out SteelCurtainNetwork.com. Man, that site is growing rapidly. We want you to be a part of it. It's totally free. Again, SteelCurtainNetwork.com. But that's a wrap. We'll be back next week for another Steelers preview. Dave, why don't you send us out like you always do?
Hey.
We'll see you next week. Take it easy.
Steel Curtain Network. Get it.
Everybody else gets a little tight.